as well. Perfect. All right. So thank you so much for coming to the class today. So today's class is around Canva and how you can best utilize it now as a KW agent. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk in our Canva 101 class. Now, next week on 10/28, if you want to come back a week from now, mark the date. All right, on 10/28, I'm going to be doing a Canva 201 class. So you will need to have the 101 portion completed, and then the 201 can obviously occur right after that. All right. So this will all be accessible to help out right away. But to get started on this, the first thing that we'll want to do on this, all right, is to go through and go to canva.kw.com. And I'll put that in the chat section as well, too. So canva.kw.com is where we'll want to sign in with our command login and password to access Canva directly. All right, so a question just came over already. So what would be our login and password if we already have a Canva account? How we can transfers ours over to this new account? Yep, so the login and password for this is going to be your login and password for command. And then if you do have a current Canva account, there is the opportunity to move everything over as well, too. So we'll talk about that in a second as well. But it's going to be canva.kw.com. And the login is going to be your command login and password. So you will need to have that up and ready to go. So I'm going to put inside a new one on here so I can make sure I'm taking you all through the full steps just in case you have not signed in before. Now, if you have signed in, just bear with me for a second. All right, but once you try to sign in on here, if you notice, you are going to get that email verification option. So make sure you have access to your recovery email to grab that code right away. Looks like mine just came through on here. All right, I'm going to put this in and we'll be good to go. All right, so, and it won't be through command that you'll want to access it, but you want to go through canva.kw.com instead. So this is going to be a separate section to access this right away. All right, so once we're under canva.kw.com and we're signing in with our login and password for command, if this is your first time signing in, you will want to click this checkbox on here saying, I agree to Canva's terms of use. All right, and then we'll want to be able to click on this continue to Canva button. All right, so we'll click on continue to Canva on here. All right, now once again, this is only going to be if this is your first time signing in like it is on mine over here. If you've already signed in before, more than likely, this will take you directly to Canva to access that right away, so you won't have to worry about this. All right, and then if you are signing in for the first time on here, it will then say, you know, a bit about working in KW Associates. All right, you're in KW Associates, which means an admin from your company is managing this account as well as anything created in it, all right, or copied to this team. All right, so this is also going to give you access to all the different KW templates and tools that'll be accessible for you on here. All right, so I'm going to click this continue option real quick. All right, and this is what our Canva account is going to look like. So before we really dive into everything on here, let's just talk about what we're looking at before we actually get in the nitty-gritty of creating different pieces. All right, so first and foremost, the main stuff that we're looking at on here, all right, this is our Canva homepage. So whenever you're actually working through anything very similar to command, this is kind of the first page that you're going to sign into, and it's going to have a plethora of items for you to utilize. All right, so whether you want to search through your own designs, so when you start to add in designs, the most recently popular, or not recently popular, sorry, recent designs will pop up on here is what I'm trying to say. So that way, once you start to get a good amount of designs on here, you'll probably want to go through and start to search by them as well in case you have specific names that they're under. You can also search by templates. So this is going to give you access to all the KW, or not KW, but all the Canva templates. A lot of C names, C and K names on this one. I tripped over this last time I taught a Canva 101 class. Now, the reason I want to bring this up is that it's not just, you know, real estate specific content that you can utilize on here. All right, so first and foremost, as you can see, there's some things on here. Hey, here's the creative brief. Here's a logo for Bronx Club. All right, I can come on here and I can say, hey, I'm looking for a thank you letter. All right, I can search for that, and now I've got all of them pulled up. This is going to give you access to a full Canva account with all the Canva templates ready to go. So even if it's not real estate specific, all right, if I'm coming on here and I am a baseball fan, so maybe I want to look up something for baseball on here, well, great. Now I've got some different baseball templates that I can utilize. All right, so the reason I want to highlight that is maybe you're doing an event that you're going to be sponsoring later on and you want to create something for it. Well, great. This is where you can actually go through and create something that is beyond real estate, oriented. All right, or of course, you can also utilize Canva AI on here to actually create stuff, from scratch on here. So we can actually say, hey, I want to make a video. And you are limited to 5 videos each month. So make sure that if you're making one that you really want to utilize or you want to get out there. All right, you can make designs on here. You can create images. You can have Canva write stuff for you. Heck, they can even go through and code certain items. So there's a lot of different opportunities that are accessible on here to help out. So that is just from this homepage where you can actually view either your designs, you can view all of your templates on here, or I can view all of the Canva AI options. And once again, these are all the Canva templates. Now, one thing I did want to highlight for you while looking at the template section on here, if you see anything with this crown icon, you will now have access to that. All right, and that is because this is a premium template that you can utilize via Canva Pro, or in this case, Canva Enterprise through KW. All right, so as long as you see that little crown icon, you'll have access to this immediately. Oh, great question came in. Limited videos, can we purchase additional options on there? That is a great question, actually. I don't know the answer to that. No one has asked that one before. So let me see if I can find that for you real quick before I give you an incorrect answer, to say the least. Well, on a great note, this is only for AI videos. So if you want to make videos from Canva directly, you'll be perfectly fine. So it's just for the AI videos on here that you're limited to 5 each month. All right. Now, looking over the left-hand side, though, we are currently under home. Obviously, there's an option where we can go through and create right away, too. So you can actually create something from scratch if you'd like to. All right. So if you want to go through and say, hey, maybe I want to create a presentation. I want to do something on social media. I want to go through and create videos on here. And once again, this is just going to be, you can do unlimited videos on here. It's only the AI videos that are limited to 5. But they don't give you specific options of what you may want to utilize based on the platform you're going to put it under. So if I'm making something for Facebook, well, that's going to be more square oriented. So now it's, 1080 by 1080 on here. All right. Outside of that, if I want to do something for Reels, well, that's 1080 by 1920 instead. All right. So all these items will be accessible for you to take a look at. Now, on the left-hand side, right below home, we also happen to have our projects. So these are going to be any projects that maybe we've gone through and we're starting to utilize, any projects, as you can see, that other KW agents are starting to share on here. I would avoid sharing this with all KW agents just because it'll start to clutter everything up a little bit. But in this case, if I do want to go through and make a project, or think of this as like a folder, for instance, maybe I want to make a folder like how I'm housing my documents on my desktop or laptop, how I'm housing pictures, whatever it might be. Well, once I click this button to click Add New, I can then say, let's add inside a new folder on here. And if I want to add inside a new folder, great. Maybe I want to go through and I want to title this as, listing, I don't know, let's say listing collateral. All right, and then I can also add additional people to our folder on here as well, too. So if there are certain people that are on my team, maybe other certain agents in the office that I'm working on listings with, I can add them on here. So I can start to type out their name for this to come up as well, too. All right, so once I click that continue option, we'll be good to go. All right, so now I've got my listing collateral folder. And if you want to click on this little star icon, this will actually basically favorite this for you. All right, so as you can see, it's starred on here. So now moving forward, this will automatically stay up at the top. All right, so every time we come in, this is going to be one of our main ones that we're going to see. It's one of our favorited options. All right, so a question came in the chat. Is there a way to change the email on your profile so it's not just numbers? So the email you're talking about on here, that is your KW ID. So the email address, if you do want to share this with other people, this is another way that you can share projects and say, hey, send this over to this email on here. If you click on your initials at the bottom left, this will show your email address, and it's going to be your KW ID at canva.kw.com. So once you send that over to someone, they can then start to share that whenever they're getting through the template section later on. So we'll talk about that when we're creating a piece on here. All right, so I've got this ready to go on my folders for listing collateral. And then, of course, once I click on template, this might look a little bit familiar. This is the same similar template section that we had on the home page, a little bit different. where now I can go through and I can actually say, hey, let's look at our templates on here through Canva, whether it's templates for us, starred ones that we've starred previously, so I don't have any on here or in my listing collateral yet. Maybe I want to look for some business specific ones on here. Maybe I want to look for some social media options, education, video, marketing, print products. All right, so that's all accessible for you to utilize on here. All right. So if you want to go through and view, once again, some of the additional Canva templates, that's all accessible. And then, of course, remember, I know I said this earlier, but I'm going to say it one more time on here. If you see that crown icon on here, that is for premium content that you'll now have access to. So if you did not have a pro account with Canva before, and you just had the free account, you'll now have access to all these additional enterprise options. Now, the next item we're going to have on here is the brand section. Now, this is where you can actually view all of the KW specific templates that KW and Canva have curated for you to utilize. So with that being said on here, if I scroll down on it, I can start to view all these different pieces that are accessible, whether they're postcards, flyers, I've got email signatures, Instagram pieces on here for it looks like Instagram Reels. All right, I've got some additional items as well, other postcard options outside of the standard, 5x7 options or 6x9s. All right, so as I start to scroll down, I'll see more and more items that are available on here for us to use. All right, now you can go through and you can utilize any of these at any time that you want to. All you have to do is just click on this. Once again, you can click that little star icon to star this, so it'll be one of your main primary ones that you'll be able to see each time. And then on the left-hand side, next to brand templates, we also have brand kits. All right, now in this case, the one difference between obviously utilizing the Canva Enterprise, Canva Pro account on here under KW in comparison to maybe the Canva Pro account that you had previously or that you might still have, there's not an option on here quite yet to make a brand kit, but you can view the core brand kit from Keller Williams. You can view the KW Luxury brand kit and the KW Commercial brand kit, including all the logos, all the text fonts, and then, of course, all the color codes on here as well, too. All right. Now, we will talk about this in a second, though, but I know a lot of people that maybe have been utilizing their own Canva account before probably have some brand kits set up, so we'll talk about how to best work around that in a second. All right, and then, of course, once again, under Canva AI on here, this is where you can access the AI side. And under more, you can then go through the apps, you can go through your content planner, and then, of course, through Design School. So, yes, so a question just came in on the brand kits. So, yes, on here, you're only able to view those brand kits for KW of what they've put together on here. But in this case, we'll talk about that in a second of how you can kind of, slowly create your own in this case as well, too, specifically around other images and items you might want to. All right. Yep, and we sure can. Yeah, so we'll go through the AI side after we kind of get through some of the main stuff that we'll need to get on this. So definitely can. All right, so I'm going to go back to this brand section and under brand templates. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually click on one of these different brand templates in this case. And I'm just going to use this one on here. I'm going to use the modular price update flyer. All right, so nothing too crazy on here. I'm just going to use this one real quick. So I'm going to click on this. You can use whichever flyer you want to, whatever piece you want to. We're literally just playing around today. So this is not anything that is going to get printed or posted out or anything of that sort. Now, obviously, unless you want to go through and create one that you're going to post out. But this is more so just to kind of have some fun. So I'm going to click on this modular price update flyer. All right, and then from here, as I can see, hey, this is what it is, modular price update flyer by KWI LLC. It's an 8.5 by 11. It was edited 1 month ago. Fantastic. All right, so I'm going to click on this to use this template. So I'm going to use this brand template at the top right up here. All right. And once we click on this option to use this template, let's move this over here. All right, now we can actually go through and view, first and foremost, some additional template options that we have on here that we may want to utilize as well. All right, but since I already have the brand template from KW, I'm going to keep this as is. So one thing that I do want to highlight for y'all, just to give you a heads up on here, first and foremost, when you're looking at this template on here, we can go ahead and start to edit it. I can click on this little image on here. And as you can see, I can go through and edit it. I can remove the background on here if there is a background. Not obviously in this case, I don't really need to worry about that. All right, I can go through, I can crop it, I can flip it. All right, there's a lot of different items I can change on here. All right, but the reason I wanted to bring this up for you is because first and foremost, we can go through and we can start to edit this now. But what I may suggest instead is clicking on this app section if you have not added in the KW app quite yet. So if I click on this app section on here, this is where I can add inside all the different apps that I may want to utilize. So any and every app that I may want to take advantage of on here, right, this will all be accessible for me to use. So for the one that I'm going to focus on today, I'm just going to focus on searching for Keller Williams. Now, obviously, you can search for other ones as well, too, if there are other specific apps that you want to utilize. One of my personal favorite ones is obviously a QR code one. I know a lot of agents will utilize that to add something quick for people to scan, go to the website. All right, that'll all be accessible. But for this Keller Williams one, so when I search for Keller Williams and now I click on Keller Williams, that pops up. All right. As we can see, import KW listings and profiles into your designs. Connect to command to pull your listings, photos, and marketing profiles into Canva. All right, so all we'll need to do on here is once again sign back in. So I'm going to click on this open option to add this in. And then once I click open, I've now added this app over on the left-hand side. So every time that I'm creating a type of flyer that maybe is listing specific or that I want to add inside my own specific information on, I can add this in right away. All right, so once I click connect, I can now sign in again to sync my command account right into Canva on here. So I'm going to do that one more time. So I'm going to copy in my username, copy in my password, click sign in. Great. All right, and then as you can see, all right, this is for Canva, Canva production, KW app for listings, marketing profiles, and profile information. So in this case, I want to click continue because I want Canva to be able to link with my command account. So this way it can actually pull over not only all listings from the KWLS, all right, but it can also pull over all of my information from my profile on here too. So if I have a marketing profile set up, I can add that in right away on. All right, so now this way, when I'm coming back over here, well, then I can go through and I can say, hey, I can search by address and this will actually show all of my listings. Or I can search under all listings on here. Looks like it's taking a little bit of time on here to pull this up. Let's see, I might want to I'm going to refresh this real quick. Let's see if this will do the trick. All right, so let's pull this back up. Oh, let's connect one more time real quick. Maybe it didn't take that time. Let's see if it takes this time. All right, so I agree. All right, let's go all listings. There we go. Awesome. All right, it did take that time. Perfect. All right, so now we have this up on here. Well, now, once again, I can search by my listings in this case. And this will allow me to actually look under any listings that I have linked with the KWLS. All right, or I can look by all listings as well, too. So if I don't have a listing and maybe I'm helping someone that has one, well, then I can go through on here and I can search by all listings and I can either search by the address or I can search by the MLS on here. All right, so as an example on this one, all right, I'm going to go through and I'm just going to choose one of these listings that'll pop up on here. So I'm going to pretend that this one, 5225 Little Falls Road, is my listing. So just to make this as easy as possible, let's go ahead and create one of these pieces on here. So if I want to go through and I'm going to say, hey, I want to add in this information. So here's all the info we have over here. Great. I need to add inside my info to replace this. Well, first and foremost, to change out the images, it's just as simple as literally going through and dragging and replacing this, or dragging and dropping. So I'm going to hold down with my left mouse button. I'm going to drag this image over and place it on top of the one I want to replace. And then let go, and it automatically will adjust that for me. And if you want to move this around or anything, you can double click on it. This way you can actually adjust what it looks like on here. So if I want to change, hey, maybe I want to show all of the actual roof on here. I want to make sure that's below this. We can do that immediately. All right, but once again, I've got 3 other images on here right now. And I can always add additional images too, because on the left-hand side, you're going to notice we've got elements. We can add inside additional elements inside here. We can add an additional text. We can look at our brand section again. All right, we can go through, we can upload additional items like additional images on here. We have tools. We can look at our projects, add other apps. But I'm going to use this template as is for the time being. All right, I'm going to add inside another image on here. Maybe of the office. I'll add one into the living room. And there's got to be one in the kitchen on here soon. There we go. I'll add one of the kitchen. All right, so just by doing that alone, I've already updated all 4 of the images on here. All right, so it was that simple for me to be able to go through and tweak this immediately. All right, so now that I've got my images done, well, maybe I want to come back and I want to look at some of the details of the property. All right, so in this case, I can see, hey, this example one that I'm utilizing is a price change one. So I'll leave it as is. I'll keep it as a price change. All right, and let's say I want to change the original price on here. So it was $2,599,000. So maybe I'll click on this again, once again, and put inside was. And now, let's say it's 2,000,000, I don't know, 499,000. All right, and I'll drag this out to make this a little bit bigger on here. So I can say this actually went down by 100,000. And once again, I'll drag that out to make it even bigger. All right, now in this case, I typed a little bit on this. So I want to make sure that I had that adjusted because it's a little bit different number than what was on there before. About a little bit over 10 times the price on there for this home. All right, but now I can actually go through and like this address on here. Well, I can change this out. So I can drag this address and place it on here and that'll adjust it. I can take this description and place it on here and that'll change it. All right, so all of this can be updated. So now we're making a dent on here. So just about everything has been changed. Not everything, not 100%, but a lot of things have been changed on here. All right, and if you noticed earlier, I did something very quickly, so I apologize. I clicked on this for where it says now 2,499,000, and I started to drag it with my mouse to kind of line this up. So if you notice on Canva, you always have these lines on here, and it'll actually show you, hey, are you center aligned? Am I right justified? Am I lined up with other items on here? So in this case, I probably want to line it up with this number up here to make sure that's as visible as possible. All right, but maybe I actually want to line it up over here. That looks a little bit better on here, kind of going with everything. But completely up to you. You can play around with this. All right, so I'm going to go through, though. I did see on here 6 beds, 7 baths. This one's a little bit harder for us to add in just because it's all connected already. So I'm just going to go ahead and change this on here, 6 beds, 7 baths. And it was 6,826 square feet. This is a massive home. That is a big home on here. All right. So now I've got this information updated. So I have just about everything done on here with the exception of the logo, obviously my information on here, anything else I might want to change. And once again, nothing is set in stone. I'm literally just using the template verbatim. You can always go through and say, hey, I want to delete this. And I can remove that right away and then delete this again and it's gone. There's always an undo button. You can Control Z as well too. Or if you're on a Mac, I can imagine it'll be Command Z. All right, now this is the one thing that's bothering me a little bit though. This bio on here, the description, that's a little bit too much text. Unless you have a magnifying glass, I don't think you're going to be able to read this. So first and foremost, 3.3 font is a little tiny. I'm going to make this, let's say around 10.3. And this is way too much where it's going way past the page on here. So that's not going to work. But what I can do though, is when I click on this, I can either go through and edit it myself, or I can click on this magic write option. All right, and the magic write section on here is going to do exactly what it sounds like. It's going to magically write this for us. So I can either transform the text, I can rewrite it, I can fix spellings, I can continue writing, but in this case, I want to shorten it. All right, so Magic Write is now going through and shortening this. Well, this looks great. It's definitely shorter, but it's still a little too much on here. All right, so I'm going to say this, but make it 200 words. Oh, actually, let's do 400 characters max. Let's do characters. I think that might look better. Oh, that still might be a little too much. So let's do this. This, but 200 characters max. All right, so now I can shorten this up, and now it fits properly on here. So that way I can drag this out, make it bigger if I want to. And if you notice, as I'm starting to stretch this, the font size is changing on here as well too. So completely up to you if you want to adjust this on here. All right, so maybe I want to make this 13.8 so it's a little bit easier to view. And now we've got that ready to go. All right, so a great quick way to adjust this very simply. All right, so now getting into the next part on here, if I want to go through and I want to change out my information on here, I probably want my info on here instead of yourwebsite.com. But now instead of looking at the listing and looking at all the listing description, I can look at the profiles instead. And then I can find my profile on here. All right, so I unfortunately don't have much on here. This is a different profile, so I'm going to add inside my information directly. But once again, if you do want to go ahead and find your info, then it should have your headshot. It should have your, a name on here. It should have your title. It should have your photo. All right, so there's going to be a lot of different information that will display on here, including your bio, including your phone number, all items you might want to add in. So I'm just going to go ahead and type this in directly. And I'll put this in as well, too. Now let's do one more. There we go. And too much text on here. I'm going to drag it out a little bit. All right, but now I've got my information on here. Or, of course, once again, I can always say, hey, let's go to the next side on here. I want to move this down. So instead, I want to get rid of this. I want to add this to the next section. So that way I can make this bigger if I wanted to. All right, whatever you prefer on here. Yep, so to get to that personal marketing profile, you want to make sure you have your app, the Keller Williams app, downloaded and you're signed in under your Command account. If you have not downloaded that yet, make sure you go to apps and search for Keller Williams, and this will pop up. You'll sign in with your Command login and password, and that's going to give you access to then search all listings, and you can click on your profile at the top right as well too to access that immediately for your profile. All right, and that way you'll be able to see all this information on here immediately. All right, now since I don't have a headshot to drag over here, the other thing that I can do is I can also go through and add in my headshot or add in other images. So say, for instance, there are, preferred vendors that you're working with, and you want to say, hey, I want to go through and I want to make sure that I'm consistently adding inside these logos on the website. Or not on the website, sorry, over on marketing pieces. Or maybe, hey, here's my headshot, but I have a couple others that I typically use, or this is another agent I'm usually doing stuff with as well. And you want to keep that information on file. Well, in this case, I can go under uploads. And if you notice, I now have my images. So these are the images that I've gone through and utilized on here. So it's saved them right here. I can even connect Google Drive. I can connect, I'm going to mispronounce this. I've never heard of this one before. Klaviyo? It's got to be that. I think maybe. I've never used that one before. I can connect Instagram. I can connect Shopify on here. All right, but in this case, I can click on upload files. And then I can add inside my headshot on here. So in this case, here's my new headshot. I'm going to upload this. And now I can drag this over to use right away. I don't need that in the background. I need that just right here. So I can drag that over as well too. All right. And yes, you can edit an existing logo. If the logo you're talking about editing is under your marketing profile, that'll need to be done through Command directly. So that'll be under your marketing profile via the website section under Command to update that. But you can always add inside additional images or logos, and we're going to change this one out in a second as well too. Now, earlier, I was talking to you all about how the brand kit section, it only allows you to view the brand kits on here. So you can only view the brand kits on here, whether it's core, luxury, or commercial. All All right, and as you can see under here, we've got all our logos, we've got all the color palettes, we've got all the fonts on here, but we can't add anything. But under uploads, if there are certain images that you want to adjust, then I can go under folders on here, for instance, and I can create a folder. So maybe I want to label this as Scott Leroy's brand kit. And I can save this now. So now I have my own little brand kit that I can make on here that'll be primarily image based, but at least you can have something on here to go back to consistently. But now under the folders, or sorry, not under the folders, under the images, I can click the 3 dots of the picture I want to move over to that folder. All right, and once I click on this, then I can move this. So once I click on move, I can specify to put this under the brand kit. And I can move this right away. So this way it'll make it easier for me to find this moving forward. If I want to say, hey, I'm going to make another, piece on here for another open house, but I want to do something different than what I did last time. And by the way, I'm going to be co-listing this with Jane Smith in the office. And the, Movement Mortgage is going to be helping us with this. Whatever it might be, we can add that in. Yeah. And if you do want to remove a background, once you click on the image, you can click on BG Remover for background remover, and that'll help to remove that background for you too, in case you want to have like a little white background similar to what I have on here. All right. Now, the last thing that I need to do on here, if I want to adjust this, is this little logo on here. So it says KW DBA name, Keller Williams. Well, obviously we want to go through and find, our logo to utilize on here. So if I go under brand, well, then I can say, hey, let's see all. Well, hopefully in this case, if you're under Keller Williams and you click on your profile, hopefully you have your logo already on here that you can move over. But if not, under brand, I'm going to click the see all on here where I can add inside those different logos. And I'm going to use this one on here. Now, my issue is I can never get this to, unfortunately, change on this one. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to click the delete button. And then I'm just going to click on this logo, for instance, to add this in. So as you can see, it automatically added this logo in. And then I'm just going to drag this up and make it fit over inside this section. I can make this as big or as small as I need to. But once again, make sure it's within your state compliance. Every state, every board is going to be a little bit different. So make sure everything is compliant on here. But now I've got my logo ready to go. Now, the good part is once I actually have, or not logo, I've got my flyer ready to go. Well, the logo's ready to go as well, too. I can then lock this. So this way I can't go through and change anything. And I can unlock it later on as well, too, if I want to go through and start to replace stuff. So if you want to avoid any, items getting messed up or anything of that sort, that's always a great option. But I can also go through and I can add another page if I want to make another flyer from scratch. Or I can duplicate this. So maybe I want to get, ahead of the curve and I want to say, hey, well, this isn't a price change. Maybe I want to say just sold. Good gravy. There we go. And I can remove this arrow. And I can change this on here. So now I want to change this and just say sold. Put this on here. Maybe I want to change this text on this as well to be white instead. Ooh, it's kind of hard to see. So let's change that to black. I'll do a dark gray. There we go. And I'll put sold in 4 days. Maybe we want to do something like that on here. All right, this way I can actually go through and start to make additional pieces on here. And if I'm going to put everything in caps, you got to do it right. There we go. Let's make sure we put them all in caps on here. All right, so now I can make these adjustments. All right, whatever you prefer. All right. And a great question came in about accessing templates that are over in designs and pulling them into Canva. So there's not a way to do that I've seen. Unfortunately, those would have to be redone. You can pull templates from prior Canva accounts to download and pull over into your new Canva account, but ones that are in designs, I have not seen a way to upload into Canva, unfortunately. That would just have to be redone on here to get that going. All right, now once this piece is completed on here, so I've got this piece done, I really just want to focus on this first one on here. Well, now I can go through, first and foremost, maybe I want to change the name of this so I can find this a little bit easier moving forward. So I'm going to put this as price change 5225 Little Falls Road. And now if I want to, I can go through, I can click this plus button and I can share this. Or once again, I can put inside the names of the other agents that I want to share this with or their emails. Remember, the email will be the kwuid@canva.kw.com. I can also click this share button at the top right, and this will allow me once again to go through and share those with people. All right, I can also go through and say, hey, how do I want to share this? Do I want it to be only accessible to myself? All right, do I want to make it where any KW associate with this link can access it under their KW.com email account, or anyone with a link can go ahead and see this as well too? And then do I want to go through and download this? Do I want to make it public? Do I want to print this with Canva? Do I want to post it on Instagram? I can also turn this into a template. So if I want to make this a template where I can share it with other people to then have them add this over onto their Canva account, that's an option as well too. So if you are the team leader or the rainmaker and you're making this piece and you want to be able to share this with other people on your team to say, hey, I made this, change out your information so you can make your own flyer. You can then make a template on here for them to be able to do that right away. All right, but if I just want to do something simple like going and downloading it, well, then I can come on here and I can actually specify, what type of piece do I want to download? All right, if it's going to be something that you're, using online, it'll typically either be SVG, which once again is only accessible for pro or enterprise accounts. It'll be PNG or JPEG, those are the big ones, or GIF. All right, if you're printing it, more likely it'll probably be PDF standard or PDF print. So I'm going to say that this is just going to be a PNG that I'm going to post out over on, maybe over on Facebook or anything like that. And then I can also go through and I can say, do I want to limit the file size? Do I want to compress it? Do I want to make it a transparent background? All that'll be accessible on here to help out. All right, and another question just came over about merging everything. This will help to bulk download everything possible to bulk upload, just to help out immediately. All right, but then I can also select the pages I want to. So in this case, I'm going to say I just want my first page. I'm going to click done, and then I'm going to download this. And this will download immediately on here for me. All right, so now I can go through, I can save this. So I'm going to save this in my downloads. Fantastic. Now I've got this saved on here. I can then open up my downloads. Awesome. And now, okay, that's fine. And now we've got that ready to go on here. So now I've got my price change one already created, and we're all good to go. All right, so that's all you have to do. And I can click on this and go back to the home page if I want to. So now if I go back to home, well, now I can actually view on here. Hey, here's that piece that I was using, the one that I made. Here's the one on here of the modular price update flyer. So if I want to go back and start this from scratch, I can. But now if I go under projects, I'll also see, hey, here's some of my recent ones. So now if I want to take this, here's my price change one, and I want to put this under listing collateral on here, well, I can drag and put this inside my folder I created earlier. So that way I can access this very quickly. Because once again, if you noticed, this is still at the top because it's been starred. All right, so that'll all be accessible on here to help out. All right, and then once again, all I have to do is click on this and it'll take me directly back over here where I can access that. Now, if you did notice when looking at this, it looks like it still says down 10,000, it has the DBA logo. So it hasn't updated all the information on here yet, unfortunately, but in this case, at least we'll know, hey, this is the one we were working with. All right. Now in the 201 class, the one that we're going to have next week, we are going to go over even more so how to utilize the Canva AI section on here. All right, but if I did want to go through and maybe I want to make, in this case, let's do just an image on here. I always love doing funky ones on it. So in this case, I can say, because we had a request earlier for like a reel on this one, so maybe I'm going to do a reel that's going to be 9:16. And I can say on this, what type of style would I like? So maybe I want this to be, let's do smart on here. Why not? Let's go with smart. And it's like they already knew me. They have some golden retrievers on here. All right, so I'm going to go through, in this case, I'm going to say, create an image of a golden retriever as a real estate agent selling a property. All right. We can see what it'll come up with on here. All right, so this way you can just go through and kind of utilize this AI section to make some fun stuff on here. All right. If only our golden retriever on there could do this. I don't know if I'd want to use the ones with real people hands. That's a little scary on here. I think we might go with the ones that actually have paws. You know. But this way, if you want to do anything on here, you're definitely more than welcome to, and you can always adjust this as well. Now, this is just a few items on here as like an example, but in case you want to go through and change this out, whether it's going to be an image, whether it's going to be something different, whether you want to make it a different style on here or a different size, you're more than welcome to at any time. All right, and one last question. So I will show this one on here, and I'm going to show a few other templates on our site for y'all to know of as well too. So if you do want to go through and create a Facebook cover photo or any type of cover photo, there's two different options where you can do this. Under the template section, you can always search for different cover photos on here. And this is going to give you all the different cover photos that Canva has ready to go. So that way you can find any of them that you might want to utilize. And I can also filter by categories on here, or I can go through on the filters of whatever I'm looking for. So maybe I want to say, let's do cover photo or Facebook cover photo real estate. And now we have a couple different cover photos that are popping up on here. So very similar to that same piece that we did earlier. I can click on any of these, and this will allow me to drag and drop items over, whether it's from our KW profile or anything I want to upload to adjust. Or under the brand section on here, under brand templates. All right, if I come under category on here, well, let's see. Let me search. I believe that you have Facebook cover photos on here. Search for a Facebook cover photo. Here we go. So they do have a couple Facebook cover photos on here that you can utilize as well too. And then that way, if you want to go through and adjust them, you're definitely more than welcome to. So I can literally click on this, say use this brand template. And then once again, this is just an image of the background, but I can change the text. I can remove anything. I can change the logo information on here. All right, all this will be accessible for us to utilize via either our uploads on here. We can change this out if we want to. All right, or once again, if you want to utilize any of the Canva ones, you're definitely able to use that as well too. All right, so to finish out the class today, one item I did want to end on for y'all is under the scottleroymarketing.com website. When you sign in with your Market Center numbers, when you click the login button, put inside your Market Center number, everything under that agent resources section is going to be accessible for y'all to utilize for free. So this is all accessible for you to use. If the office obviously is utilizing our services, so if you're on here, I can imagine they are. But under the marketing support section, we have our templates option. So under templates on here, these are all additional Canva templates that we have available for you. All right, so all additional Canva templates we have accessible for you, whether it's our KW classic ones, luxury templates, modern templates, black and white, or even our prior free templates that you can utilize. So when you click on any of these, if you want to use any of them, you're definitely more than welcome to. You can scroll down to find some of the different pieces that we've created, and this will give you the ability to go through and replace it with your information. And if you see anything that says multiple designs on here, that's exactly what it means, that there are multiple options. So if I want to use this in Canva, I can click on that, select View Template, select Open in Editor, and here we go. Now we've got all these additional templates that we can use right away. And this will all be accessible once again. If I want to go through and I want to adjust any of this, I can pull this back up. Let's go back to that home again on here. I want to change out that home. So now I've got this changed on here. I can start to reorganize it, whatever I want to. So this will all be accessible for you to go through and make some adjustments if you want to utilize any of these. All right, so all some extra fun stuff on here for you to take advantage of. And of course, once you save this, or not even save this, once you add this over, if I go back to home, all right, now I've got those templates on here, copy of the flyer templates, and under projects on here, it'll pop up under my recents as well too. So there you go. All right, so those are all free templates that you can utilize, whether it's under that KW Classic, whether it is under, obviously, the other ones, the modern, luxury, black and white, or if you want us to create some listing marketing collateral for you, under our Agent Concierge section, Agent Resources, marketing support agent concierge. You can request this as well too, and we can actually make that listing listing collateral for you to help out. All right. So that's all you'll have to do on here is just go through Agent Concierge, click the start option. You can request something for us to actually make, and that'll all be complimentary for you too. All right. So in order to get the SLM template, so it's over on scottleroymarketing.com. Sign in with your market center number, hover over agent resources. And then we went down to marketing support. And it's under the templates section to access that right away. So once you find those templates, and then you find the different templates that you want to utilize. So maybe I want to use some of the luxury ones that are more of the luxury color scheme on here. Maybe I'm looking for some social post on here. Great. All right, once I click on the Use in Canva option, I can then select View Template, open an editor, and there we go. Now I'm able to go through and make these adjustments right away with all these templates. So it'll all be accessible for y'all to utilize at any time on here. So there you go. All right, so that is going to be it for the Canva 101 class today. Just a reminder, we are going to do a Canva 201 class next week. That's going to go beyond the basics. So you will want to have the Canva 101 class under your belt before that 201 class, because we're going to need to make sure that everything is already set up and organized for you. But next week, we're going to go over even more marketing pieces, even more AI, even more items that'll help you to customize everything even further. So this will make your life that much simpler. All right, and another question came in about how can you connect another Canva account? If you want to move your items over, you can do it one at a time, or this will help to do a bulk transfer as well too, if you want to move that over to access this under the new KW option. All right, so that way, if you want to get rid of your other Canva account, you definitely can. This class was recorded and it will be accessible over on scottleroymarketing.com. On here, if you go under Agent Resources, under Recorded Training, you can find it under Canva later today, or youtube.com/scottleroymarketing. It'll be our most recent video. So once this class is done, I'll get that uploaded for y'all. Thank you so much for coming out today. Hopefully this helped y'all out a little bit on here, and hopefully this gave you a little bit of a glimpse into other items accessible for you too. And more importantly, I hope to see y'all next week as well in the Canva 201 class. I will be teaching that one again, so it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, so have a fantastic day, and I'll see y'all soon.